All right, episode 2.
Episode 2.
How was your weekend? Episode 2.
First of all, listen to that audio.
So much better.
It's
I
amazing.
need to watch my levels. Actually, that might have been a little loud.
Stay in the green. And we're back.
We're back. Already spending money on microphones.
Guys, we've invested. We're in it now.
I know this is an investment. Still looking for sponsors.
Yep. I've gotten lots of inquiries.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the right
committed.
one. Want to make sure that we believe in the product and the business and everything. So,
what is our product?
All right. So week 2. Did you listen to the first episode?
Just once or twice.
How many times?
So many times. It's so embarrassing.
I felt a little narcissistic, honestly, with how much I was listening to the episode, but I wanted to, learn from my mess ups. And
yes,
I noticed I said the word like a lot.
Golly, I think I did. I think I say every other word.
So we need to work on that. But
okay,
I did listen to another podcast lately, and it was talking about how that's okay. Those words are okay. Likes and and all those are okay.
It's normal.
And some people actually edit those words out of their podcasts, but we're not going to do that. We're
we're keeping it raw for the people. We want to be real.
100%. So week 2.
Week 2.
Should we dive in?
Yes.
How was your weekend?
I had a great weekend. I got to hang out with you for part of it.
That's true.
It was Island Palooza. Okay, for clarification purposes, because last time we talked about Friday. Are we always going to include Fridays as part of our weekends, or only if it's?
I think Friday is part of the weekend.
I mean, I'm like, are we privileged that we get to count 3 days as our weekend?
We are privileged in a lot of ways.
Okay,
sure.
I agree. Okay, Friday was actually really fun because we hosted a pool party for Allie's cheer squad.
Nice.
So that was great. Had about a dozen middle schoolers in the pool. And so that was super fun. I can't honestly even recall Friday night. I don't know. I don't think it was much. But Saturday we went to Island Palooza. I feel like it's one of my favorite days of the summer.
It's one of my favorite days of the year for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I'll give my summary, and then I feel like we should go into like a deep dive of what Island Palooza is. Okay.
Do it.
So just a quick summary. It is an event that the Millers put on every summer.
Yep.
It's usually 2 days, correct? Yep. But our family has just gone for the day for Saturdays. And my kids love it. What I love is there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
From the little kids water slide. I mean, adults go on it too. But to when you everything is like so well thought out. There are, to me, just these little pieces that were so intentional. From when you get there, there's a welcome drink.
Yeah.
They provide you the welcome drink. You can make it alcoholic or not. Then you start, there's every hour, there's a different activity. There's the water slide, there's volleyball, there's the game of spoons, which I don't know if you heard the controversy of this year.
I heard you got second. I didn't know that there's controversy.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. And I will say all day long, I am so honored that I lost to the one and only Ron D. Miller.
Yes. Silver's still good.
If you're not first, you're last, is what I've always believed.
Yeah.
However, here's what happened. We were in the very final round, and we each had our own set of cards, and we're playing the game. We're both trying to get the first one to a set of 4.
Okay.
A gentleman who shall remain nameless knocked my deck over.
I did not hear about this.
Causing complete mental chaos for me. Like I just was like and I was so close. I had 3 in my hand that were all the same number. And as the deck flew everywhere, I was like, panic. I'm trying to collect my thoughts. I'm trying not to aggressively react to. And as this is all happening, she won.
That seems like it warrants a do-over.
Well, here's the thing. I learned she had never won spoons of all the years doing Island Palooza. And I'm like, I have won.
Yeah.
Spoons.
Have you won previously? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't realize you had a record.
Yes.
Okay, nice.
One time.
So you were trying to uphold your crown. And you did not.
Really clinging to that. So it's fine. I'm fine. I've worked through it. I've processed it, and I am happy to give Rondi the crown. No, but it's like, okay, there's spoons, and then there's meals.
Volleyball.
There's volleyball. There's the egg race, which Chad and Alice won.
Did they?
They won. And then your parents have trophies for them. They have ribbons with medals. And then the ice cream truck comes, and your dad did the cutest thing and got crisp $2 bills.
Yep.
Handed them out to the children and adults who wanted ice cream. And that's how they paid for that. I mean, it's just unbelievable how much thought and detail goes into Island Palooza. So it makes those who attend.
Koozies. Don't forget about the koozies.
Koozies. I mean, literally, It was amazing.
Yeah.
So that was Saturday.
Yeah. This is our 6th year in a row doing Island Palooza. And every year it's gotten a little bit, we've kind of refined it and figured out what works, what doesn't work. And I'll give kind of a little backstory on why we started it in the first place. So Anderson Island is about a 30-minute ferry ride from Steilacoom, which is near Tacoma. We purchased this property about 7 years ago or so, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And my family wasn't looking for a vacation property at the time. It honestly kind of like fell into our laps. Yeah. And we got an amazing, crazy deal on it, like almost free pretty much for this property.
Didn't you guys get like that property plus vehicles plus it was like it's actually a really crazy like story.
Yeah. So this lady, she was trying to sell this property on Anderson Island, a few other developable lots on Anderson Island, a house in Lakewood, a boathouse, a boat, a truck, and there was definitely more than that too. But she said, I want to, sell all this stuff and move on and go into a retirement home is what she was looking for. And she basically said, this is how much I want for everything. And so we were able to basically make her an offer for everything all together as a package. We're able to remodel and sell the home in Lakewood, make a little bit of a profit on that, which in turn kind of made this property almost free, which is crazy. So really no one in my family feels like we like earned or deserve this property at all. And so our goal with it is really to share it with as many people as possible and really make it just a place where people could come together and memories can be made. So.
And I feel like if I can like validate that, I feel like you guys do that so well. You have offered it to our family. I know you've offered it to tons of different employees here at Theory. But it seems like you live with that property very open-handedly. You seem like you guys are always willing to share that with people. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's cool too. I think all of us will, have our primary homes that we'll buy and sell and move, probably many times over the next couple decades. But this property we plan on keeping forever, and it's just fun to have a property like that. Like I didn't have this growing up. Like this was as a kid, we never had a vacation home or anything like that. Sure. But it's so amazing being able to just have this as a kind of a forever property that we'll be able to do. And Island Palooza, we're on year 6, but this is something we plan to do kind of forever. So
okay, because I was thinking this. I was wondering, watching, your mom and dad put it on.
Yeah.
Your mom's dad is there. To me, it feels like this is like a legacy building property and event. Like, do you and Isaac plan, like, do you guys talk like we're gonna when mom and dad can't do it, we're gonna carry it on? Like, do you see this being like something you lead?
100%. Yeah. And it's interesting. So last year was huge. You were there last year.
I was there last year.
How many years have you been to Island Palooza?
I want to say this is my 3rd or 4th year coming.
Cool.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was 6th annual. I think maybe the 4th. I was looking at the pictures. We do a group picture every year. I think you and Eric were both started coming the same year, which was I think 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean our plan. So last year, I think we had almost 200 people there. It was huge.
It got a little unruly.
Yeah.
At some time.
So we invite, most of our friends, family, everyone here on our team at Theory. So it's really an open invite to people, to almost anybody that we know. But what happened last year is the word got out on Anderson Island, and a bunch of people that we didn't know showed up. Right. And in the moment, we're like, oh, it's fine. More the merrier. And that's kind of our mentality in general. But it got to the point where it felt like it was an event that we were having to work at rather than an event we were able to enjoy. Yeah. It was, it got out of hand. Yeah. So last year we had almost 200 people there. I think this year we had closer to 75 people, which
it felt like a nice size.
Yeah. Much better size this year. Which I was thinking about that actually. So, we could talk about the Enneagram another day, but for some reason my ego is like boosted or boosted up by numbers. I'm very number motivated in general. And I think I had the realization this weekend that sometimes, smaller is better.
Yeah.
It's not, we don't, like you talk about the future of Island Palooza. I don't want it to be something where we have 500 people there in 10 years.
Gotcha.
Like I would love to keep it not necessarily small, but definitely still intimate and manageable, and so that everybody can enjoy it and it doesn't feel like it's overwhelming.
Well, and there's quality control in that, right?
Sure.
Like I imagine 500 people, how are you providing a welcome drink for every single, I mean, that budget alone blows my mind. But yeah, just being able, I think what's so special is that it's so intentional. And so for each hour to be intentional to cater to 500 plus people seems, unless you now hire a team of people to run it so that you can be enjoying it as well. I just feel like it's crazy.
And it was great. Actually, this year we had Stephanie's help. She helped with food.
I noticed that. And then it felt like your mom's friends were like on it in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just feel like you guys have such a good community they see the dream.
Yeah. Great people. I think that was something previous years. My mom has handled all the food.
Right.
And that it gets to the point where she feels like she's having to do that all day and isn't really able to enjoy it and talk to people as much. So it was really nice this year having some additional help and and like everybody rallied around to clean up towards the end. And it was awesome.
You know what? Speaking of food, there was one year where Chad and I came to Island Palooza and we were fighting.
Were you?
We managed to do the entire day not speaking to each other.
That's amazing.
He manned the grill. That was his like get out of like having to hang out with me and talk to me. He like did the grill move and was there for hours. But yeah, I always laugh at like, it's just funny how you can put on that front in front of people of like, oh, hey, how are you? And like inside, we actually have not spoken.
That's
like,
amazing.
All day. So
speaking of fighting with Chad.
Yeah.
How's Connie? We talked about a little earlier. We're like, we should introduce something called Connie's Corner.
Connie's Corner.
As part of this podcast, a regular segment. Any lessons learned, anything, and obviously feel free to share whatever you'd like or not share whatever you'd like.
Well, okay.
Have you met with Connie in the last week?
We had a breakthrough in our most recent meeting with her.
Okay.
I feel like we're going to take a turn emotionally. We went from, how was your weekend to how's therapy?
Yeah.
So backstory, Chad and I, about 5 years ago, went through a pretty traumatic experience where one of our dear friends who was the pastor of our church, who was Chad's best friend, I worked with his wife, passed away very unexpectedly. And I do want to be careful to say, like, this is our version of the experience and grieving and healing and all that. And by no means want to mitigate or take away from the actual family who's gone through this. So, and it was, I think what came up in therapy for us was we kind of didn't address it really well. We just pushed forward with helping continue the church, like on the leadership team. We kind of stepped in and just kind of helped carry it forward. He really, Chad, I'm saying, really took a turn towards just working on his health and fitness. And I did not, like I did the opposite. I felt like I kind of allowed myself to, I don't know, just get into some unhealthy habits. And as we've been talking to Connie about it, we really identified that was like this major event in our life that really started kind of us on this like different direction in life.
Wow.
And it's so silly. Like I like get so embarrassed because, I have friends who complain about their husbands who are like, they don't do anything around the house or they're not doing the laundry or whatever. And I'm like, well, my husband won't eat a cheeseburger. And like, that is my biggest complaint. And it sounds so stupid to me in my head and on paper. I feel like it's ridiculous, but it has been this thing that has come up where it's like, we just have such different lifestyles. And there is also a part where Chad was a professional athlete for a majority of his, adolescence, adult life. And so he was literally trained and paid to be healthy and to work out. And I was not. I am half Japanese. I felt like my genes really got me far for like up until 40. And then, COVID and age just like was like, oh, guess what? That's not enough anymore. So all that to say, it was going back to Connie, it was actually so it was really freeing to be able to identify that, to be able to talk about it with her, to go back and almost find this event that really was so life altering. I mean, it really changed. It oddly enough brought me to theory. I was working in real estate in a different firm, and then we kind of broke up the team when this happened, and COVID happened. All these things happened that, I don't know, it just really changed our lives. And so we are working through that. And I'm not even saying like, and then now we're fine, we've healed. It was almost just, there was something healing in identifying that moment. And then since then, now we've just been kind of having some more conversations and just approaching it with a little bit more sensitivity towards each other. Because previously, we would just kind of, I don't know, get defensive. Like
Right.
I would make a meal and there would be a carb as a side dish and he wouldn't eat it. And I would get all, upset. Like, number one, I made that, so rude. Number two, I'm like, if you're not eating it, should I not be eating it? And just these like crazy mental games. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said about with Connie just identifying. She kind of had this revelation when we started talking about it, where she was like, this feels like this was the elephant in the room. You guys have gone through a huge traumatic experience and you haven't really healed,
Right.
and it's the way you have responded has been different from each other. So just identifying that was really helpful. And so we'll keep working through it.
Yeah. I'm sure that's probably helped create empathy for each other as well.
Totally.
Like this is, you both went through the same thing together, but you had different reactions to it. And that's okay.
Right.
Death is so interesting. So I have not had anybody close to me die ever, really. So
actually unbelievable.
It's crazy. I've been very fortunate. My grandma died when I was 4 years old, and she was a great lady, and I think I would have been close with her, but I was too young to even know it was happening.
Right.
But other than that, I've had a few, acquaintances die.
Yeah.
And last week, a coworker, colleague of ours, Mike Olson, he passed and unexpectedly. And I wasn't that close to him, but I, worked with him often and have had, meals with him and quite a few conversations. He's probably the closest person to me who's died.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I think I've had this weird unknown of not knowing how I'm going to deal with death when somebody close to me dies. And I still don't know because I wasn't super close with him. But I'm like, I've been very fortunate, and I'm just, death is weird. It's everyone reacts to it so differently.
Totally.
And
yeah, I feel like well, not to totally like negate this conversation, but I was literally in a walk with Chad this morning and we were talking about our tombstones.
Okay. It's a great Monday morning conversation.
I can't go deep right now. No. And he's like, we were talking about just our like future retirement plans. And he's like, what if we go back to Santa Barbara and we do this and we sell this and we buy this and, and I'm just in my head, I'm like, I cannot commit to something like that. And I feel like that's what he wanted me to say. Is like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, yeah, maybe. And
Chad's such a planner. He wants to know what the 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plan is.
And in my head, I'm like, how could we possibly know that? Yeah. Like, what if our kids go here? Or what if they, stay in Tacoma or stay in Washington? I don't want to leave them. But so my response is like, yeah, maybe. And he was like, you know what? On your tombstone, when you die, it's going to say Jamie Erskine, 1982 to whatever, 2048, whatever year. And then it's going to have in quotes, maybe. Like, that is your quote of your life. Is like, you've been known to be like, well, maybe. I'm just like non-committal. And that maybe is back to the Enneagram. Yeah. I'm just like FOMO to the extreme. I don't want to commit because what if there's something different?
I don't like committing to something unless I know that I'm 100% able to do that.
Same.
Yeah. I have people in my life, past and present, who will just say yes to everything and then they will back out the last second or whatever, and that's always driven me crazy. And
me too.
So I want to be somebody who, if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it, like unless some crazy circumstance prevents me from doing it. But so I'm the same in that way. That
I feel validated.
Long-term planning is interesting too. Like it's fun to dream about like what the future could look like, but it's hard to say for sure this is what 10 years from now is gonna happen. So
well, and like to go full circle with our conversation today, I do feel like there is something beautiful about Island Palooza and just that property in general. Yeah. And I feel like you could probably do multiple episodes on just talking about it and how you've honored your grandma's name by renaming the street there. There's so much to that, but also this like, there is something to be said of, it's not just a property, right? Like you're using it to like bless other people, to create these events where I literally walked away being like, I wonder if they realize how impactful that is for people. Right. Like when you are so intentional to create an experience like that, I wonder how much feedback or how much you guys realize, like my kids love, like every year they get excited about it. Yeah. Like me and Chad are like, this is our favorite day. Yeah. Like to just go somewhere where you literally just get pampered, where somebody's thought about all these different things. It's just so special. Yeah. So
I think for us too, like it's one of our favorite days of the year as well. And we're putting a lot of work into it, but still it's one of our favorite days.
I mean, honestly, when do you guys start planning this?
we start talking about, we put a date. So it's usually like the same weekend in August for the most part. I think this year might've been a little bit different, but I want to say beginning of the year, we start having like kind of some preliminary conversations, and then probably around April, we send out the invite and start like getting the wheels in the motion. And then my mom is really, she plans a lot of it. I help with ordering, the koozies and the swag and the supplies and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's months and months of planning for pretty much one day.
Right.
So, and it's always worth it. It's always, when we see people having fun, we're having so much fun. Like every year it's, it starts at 10 a.m., starts pretty early.
Yep.
And it's 10 p.m. before I know it. And I'm like, where did that day go?
Yeah.
But when I think back, I'm like, I had so many amazing conversations throughout this day. I wasn't on my phone at all. I literally didn't even think to like, I actually feel bad every year because I have friends will be texting me like, oh, I missed the ferry, or I'll miss calls and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm not on my phone at all. I don't want to be, I want to be present.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe moving forward, you just tell them, hey, I won't have my phone.
I should probably do that.
Because I remember, I feel like this was recent. Like last year, something you were like, I'm really going to try not to be on my phone at all. And it's
one of the few days of the year that's like that. Like honestly,
rare.
it's pretty rare that I'll go the whole day without. Like I have very few pictures from the day, which I'm always taking pictures.
Yeah.
And it's just, this happens every year where I'm just like, there's so many people there that I just want to talk to and just want to like, and there's volleyball. I love volleyball. I play hours of volleyball every year. And such a fun day. Yeah. So I want to talk about my grandpa too, because he put so much work into this as well.
Oh my gosh. So he actually is my favorite.
He's the best. So he lives out on Anderson Island. Yeah. Most of the year he goes down to Palm Springs for the winters, the snowbird thing.
Right.
But the property has become really his like pride and joy. It's a pretty big lot, and he takes care of all the grass. He's built like gardens. He's built all these sheds and different things around the property. Yeah. And every year he builds like a giant slip and slide.
Yes.
Which is every year it's gotten better. Like this year there were like kind of some guardrails along the side and a big.
And he makes it all.
He makes it all. Yeah. He does it all. He built some like semi-permanent volleyball poles this year too, which it's just, he's amazing. He's 85 years old and is probably the most active, healthy 85-year-old that I know.
Sure.
And so inspirational to everyone around him. Like I literally yesterday morning went on a bike ride with my grandpa.
Yeah.
Like how many people can say they will go on a bike ride with their 85-year-old grandpa? The last few years in a row, he's ridden his bike from Wenatchee to Tacoma, which is like almost 200 miles.
My gosh.
He does it almost every year.
Yeah.
He's still hiking and playing tennis, and just like I call him my fitness icon because like he's what I aspire to be.
What does he do? What's his secret?
He just stays active. He moves every single day. I mean, whether he's being like doing.
Does he eat cheeseburgers? I'm just asking for a friend.
He does eat whatever he wants, pretty much. Yeah. So he has. So funny actually. So we went on the bike ride yesterday, and then we were talking afterwards, and he disappeared to his house for a little bit, and he came back and he made a smoothie. And I was like, "Oh, what'd you put in your smoothie?" And he was like raving about a smoothie. He's like, "Oh yeah, there's chocolate ice cream,
love it,
and a banana." I'm like, "That's a milkshake. That's not a smoothie." Yeah, that's a milkshake. But he was like talking about the smoothie. But he eats ice cream almost every day and doesn't follow like a crazy healthy diet by any means, but just stays active pretty much every single day. So and he's had cancer. He's had different like health problems over the years, and he's it's been short hiccups, but he's been able to push through those, and it's pretty crazy. So my whole life I've known him as Papa Dick. That was my growing up. I always called him Papa Dick.
Okay.
And I think he's trying to rebrand himself right now because he
love it. It's never too late to rebrand. Never too late.
He introduces himself as Richard now to people, which is so weird for me to hear because he's been Papa Dick my whole life.
Yeah.
So, but he's great. One more Papa Dick story,
please.
Actually. Okay,
can we call him Richard?
Richard. One more Richard story.
Desire to rebrand and call him Richard.
We can do that. All right. I'll try. So he's lived on Anderson Island for a few years. We have a few different buildings out there, and he lives in one of them. Okay. And for anybody who's never been to Anderson Island, it's a really small island. But there is
a pretty tight-knit community there.
Pretty tight-knit. It kind of feels like a step back in time. Like it's the grocery store feels like it's from the 70s. Right. And but there's a golf course on the island, and there's a pretty nice little country club on the golf course. Yeah. And that's the only restaurant on the island.
Right.
And
shout out to, is it Riviera?
The Riviera Country Golf and Country Club, I think. Great. If you're on Anderson Island, check it out. So he was there one night. He goes there pretty often because it's like he's a very social creature, and that's the only place you can go pretty much.
Like he's a bit of a ladies' man, isn't he?
100%. Yeah. To a fault a little bit.
I mean,
yeah, it's that we can save that for another
all
day,
right,
but
that's enough time.
So he was at this restaurant, and I think he was just having a good night, and there were other people at the bar around him, and he decided to buy them drinks, and then more people showed up at the bar, and he bought them drinks, and then I think the word got out to other people on the island that he was doing this.
Bring your friends.
And
get down here.
Literally dozens of people started showing up. And at that point, he was committed. Like, he was buying everybody their drinks. And he ended up racking up a bill of like $3,000.
No.
Yeah.
Richard.
He's not a wealthy man. So I don't even know how that happened, but the restaurant owner ended up calling my dad and was like, hey, Richard, this is buying everybody drinks. Like, you should come like help him out or whatever.
Yeah.
And after the fact, she told him that it was the busiest night they had ever had at the country club. Ever. Like,
you're welcome.
She's owned this
Riviera.
place for decades, and it's the busiest night in the history of the Riviera. So
amazing.
I think he should run for like mayor of Anderson
100%.
Island. I don't even know if that's a thing, but if not, he should make it a thing.
He's our honorary. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's Papa Dick for you. That's Richard for you.
Richard.
Great guy.
I want to do that. I want to be the person who just offers to pay even if
you can't. Even if you go into massive debt.
Actually can't. But what a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Cool. Any other weekend highlights?
Let me pull up my phone here.
Oh, here we go.
Have some notes. Let's see.
Notes. This is the difference between Austin and I. You come prepared.
Okay. Island Palooza. Okay. Monthly challenges. I want to talk about that a little bit. So I've been doing monthly challenges since 2019.
What?
Almost 4
that
years.
Long?
Yeah. So not every single month, but most months I've done. Every month I've picked something that I want to challenge myself with. I've done, what have I done? I've done like yoga every day for a month. I've done a gallon of water every day.
Yeah.
I did a 5K every day.
You just wrapped up wine every day.
Yeah. So more recently I've decided to start mixing in some like less fitness based,
you did
more
dessert
fun.
Every day.
That was the best one so far.
Yeah. There's some fun ones.
Dessert every day for a month was amazing.
Yeah.
Another great one is like trying a new thing every day for a month. So that was like every day, just trying something I haven't done before.
Okay.
That was a great one.
Like an activity.
Or a new restaurant or something.
Yeah.
This month I'm doing a cold shower every day, which does Chad into cold showers?
Loves a good cold plunge.
Okay, cold plunge.
Oh my goodness. Don't listen. You want to talk about, what is it called when it's hot and cold?
Hot cold therapy. Like,
is that what it is?
I think so. Or exposure, hot cold exposure maybe.
It's something.
But going from like a sauna to a cold plunge.
Oh.
Love that.
His love language.
Yeah.
Loves it.
So I'm not doing cold plunges this month.
Do you know what I like?
What do you like?
I like to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I like to be just not too hot, not too cold.
So do you not like a sauna?
I do love a good sauna session. I will say that. But we went to Post Hotel. Have you done that?
Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Post Hotel. Maybe you want to sponsor.
That would be a great sponsor. They don't even need to pay us. Just like free nights once a quarter.
Honestly, yeah.
I would take it.
100%. They have the whole, like, you could do a almost like a routine. Like you go to this room and then you go to this room and then you do this cold plunge, then you do this, steam. And
it's in Leavenworth. We'll say that.
I did feel like you're on vacation, but you feel like you're being healthy. Yeah. Which is new for me.
It's true.
It's very rare. Anyways,
it's like a spa hotel. It's great.
And it's 18 and up. Yep. So, and they provide your breakfast and your lunch. It's kind of like a mini all-inclusive setup. Yeah. Anyways, so that experience for me was very luxurious, and I really did enjoy the sauna. I couldn't cold plunge more than 10 seconds, but Chad would. He would sit in the little
do the Wim Hof breathing and all that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So anyways, back to you.
I have an aversion to cold water for sure. Yeah. I don't love cold plunging. I'm trying to I know that it's good for you. I know that it has a lot of benefits. So I'm trying to get myself to the point that I can do that. But in general, cold water is I don't like it. Like, even we go to Lake Chelan pretty often, and Brian just jumps in the cold water, no problem. I have to talk myself into it.
For sure.
I'll be standing on the edge for 5 minutes, and it's excruciating 5 minutes, because I'm I just know that the pain is coming. Right. And I just can't get myself to do it. So my hope is that with this cold shower thing, already it's the 14th of the month, we're 2 weeks in, and I'm already finding it easier because I do a a regular warm hot shower.
Yeah.
And then the last 30 seconds, it's cold.
Okay.
So I'm not just like going willy-nilly or like cold turkey into the cold.
But almost that would maybe be harder because you're like in this hot water and then all of a sudden it
feels so nice. And so at the beginning of the month, it was very difficult for me to turn it from the warm to the cold. Like same thing as jumping into a cold lake or whatever. Like it would take me some time to psych myself up for it.
Right.
Already like today for my cold shower, I just immediately turned it and it was just like, it was a little bit it was a little bit painful, but it was just it didn't take, I didn't have to like psych myself up into doing it basically. So that's an improvement.
2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks and I'm already making progress.
And how do you feel after?
I feel good. It honestly kind of feels like a little bit of a hit of caffeine. Like
that's what I've heard.
Yeah. I walk out of the shower. I'm like, I feel awake. I feel ready to, conquer the day. Whatever.
It is. First of all, you're very on trend because I feel like everybody's doing it. And everybody's posting about it. We see you. We get it.
Cold plunges. I don't think you can do a cold plunge if you don't post about it. I think that's the rule.
It doesn't exist. It's fine. But I did hear something on a podcast recently where he was saying, just 3 minutes of his cold plunge, and it is completely, I don't want to use the extreme phrase life-changing, but he did say it does totally like reboost him, all these endorphins, rush of energy. He was selling it. I was like, 3 minutes, that's not too bad. So I have heard great things.
Are you gonna do it?
I probably will not do it.
Do you guys have a cold plunge at your house?
We don't. Okay. We used to have a sauna that's like been disassembled. We could add one. We also have the pool, so he could like turn down the temperature in the use that. But I also get energized from hanging out with friends.
Okay.
From drinking a glass of cold water.
All right. You don't need the cold water.
Submerge my whole body to get the same.
I also think
reaction.
That I chose probably the easiest month of the year to do cold showers. It's August. It's literally
every single day.
Do I shower every day?
Yeah.
Do you not shower every day?
Don't.
I work out every day though, so like I sweat every day, so I need to shower after that. I mean,
every day, Saturday and Sunday, you do all this.
This month I am showering every day. I'd say like in general, I shower pretty much every day. Yeah.
Okay. It's a little embarrassing. It's fine. We can edit.
For me, I sweat. Like when I work out, I sweat a lot.
Yeah.
Like my sweat glands are very, very active, so I feel like I need to shower.
Okay.
I shower before bed. Sometimes I shower like multiple times a day.
Oh my gosh.
I like.
It's a lot of water.
I like being clean. Especially getting into bed. I love when I like take a shower.
That's true.
I'm all clean. Get into like a freshly made, clean sheet bed. Like that's the best feeling.
Yeah. Okay. That makes some more sense.
Maybe you should try it.
I should. Should shower more. Okay.
But anyway, cold showers are going well. 2 weeks in.
What if my monthly challenge was just shower?
Just shower every.
You do yours and I'll do one that's like a little bit less extreme.
I love it. That's a great idea. So next month I'm going to do no alcohol. I think that's going to be my September challenge.
I actually might join you.
So you could do only alcohol once
on
a
the
day.
Weekends.
Just one drink a day. I'm just kidding. But you'll join me.
That's a stretch.
You'll join me for the no alcohol challenge?
No, I actually, yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm airing a lot of dirty laundry today.
I think that's the pod. We should rename the podcast "Airing Our Dirty Laundry."
That's 100% what this is. Especially in our new house, it feels like you should be drinking there. Like you feel like you're on vacation. You feel like I'm out by the pool and I should have a cocktail in my hand.
Every time I've been to your house, the first thing you've done is offer me a drink. You're wasted.
I'm totally kidding.
No, you offer me a drink every time I'm there, which I appreciate. We've had a meeting there actually. We've had a work meeting. You, me, Eric, and Tara, I think. And I think it was around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. And you offered us drinks and it was great.
We didn't talk about Sunday in our weekend recap.
Okay,
but to go back really quick, we had a couple friends over and we were very much drinking responsibly, but there was a moment where just the adults were around the pool and we all had a drink in our hand and it was warm and it was like this blissful moment of just the kids were off playing.
Yeah.
I was like, this is paradise. Like it just felt so lovely. And the problem is like, I want to recreate that every day.
And if you didn't have alcohol in your cup, it wouldn't be the same.
Okay. That's the thing. That's a good point.
So they make like NA like liquors, tequila, vodka. It tastes very similar to those.
The truth is, I don't love the taste.
Okay.
Like there are some things that I drink that I'm like, oh, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
So no, but we have, and like a friend of mine, she did a little mocktail, not yesterday, but in the past, where it's like a sparkling water with some lime and like a little bubbly, and you just feel like, okay,
little ginger beer.
Yeah. So I do, and I just think the thing is like I kind of want to just do a challenge where I can be like I could not drink. Like I could actually be like, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Sober September.
Sober September. Okay. Sober September except for the weekends.
Okay. So for me, I'm doing Sober September except for the last day of September. So I'm going to Oktoberfest in Leavenworth.
Can't do that.
And it's Oktoberfest, but it's on September 30th. So it's on the last day of September, but it's called Oktoberfest. So I feel like it's fine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go the whole month without drinking except for the last day of the month.
You could start August 31st.
True. So then it's technically a full 30 days.
Yeah. We should see what day that is. If that's a weekend, never mind.
August 31st.
For me, I also feel like I just know drinking for my health long term, it's not good.
Right.
You know, like here and there, great, but it's not something.
But you do have the Japanese thing going for you.
I think there's a
thing.
What does that mean?
So
that we're allergic? Is that what you're going to say?
No.
Oh, because I think
I think Japan has the highest concentration of centenarians, so people who've lived over 100 years old.
Yes.
I think. I could be, don't fact check me on that, but
nobody fact check us on anything. Actually,
yeah. There's another podcast listen to, Armchair Expert. They do a fact check at the end of the podcast,
oh,
which
good Lord.
is like checking on everything.
I'm so terrified. I'm so terrified. I'm like, first of all, if I name anybody else or say anything, I'm like, don't check.
Yeah.
This
somebody could probably
data.
start a whole separate podcast just fact checking our podcast.
Yeah.
Anyone out there is looking to start a podcast?
Please don't sue us, guys. Listen. Yeah. Okay. But so you're saying because there's maybe something in my genes that would create longevity, I should honor that.
You should keep drinking.
And okay. I think you're saying like because your nationality tends to live longer,
right?
Take care of your body.
That too. You can take it whatever way you'd like.
I will say the older I get, the more I'm like, it impacts me.
Yeah.
You know?
I drank yesterday. What was yesterday? So Saturday on Island Palooza, I drank throughout the day.
Yeah.
A lot of different things I had. Right. And I at no point during the day was I like drunk.
I do want to be clear. Yeah. I'm not like blackout trashed. It's not like, this is a kid-friendly show.
That's true. We've drank together a number of times.
Yeah,
I've never seen you, sloppy.
I'm not sloppy. Thank you.
But throughout the day, I think I had some rum, some vodka, maybe some tequila. Definitely some tequila.
A lot of sugary drinks.
Yeah.
Were on the
sugary
island.
Drinks. Yep. I had some champagne. I had a variety of different things.
Yeah.
And never was drunk, but I woke up Sunday morning feeling not great. Yeah. So I think the key, if I am going to drink, keeping it consistent with picking one thing and sticking with it is definitely something I'm getting better at.
I know.
Like I'm not getting better at, but I need to do. Clearly.
Yeah. It's like almost embarrassing now. Like I used to like slam Malibu rum and like that would be my
that was my entry.
To be clear.
Malibu was my gateway drug into alcohol. Malibu and Fireball were my two. Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't. Now I'm like maybe a nice fine red wine and I'll be good. Like too much sugar in my head is like no thank you.
I love the variety of topics we've hit on this episode.
Gosh, we went from death to
alcohol and everything in between.
Island Palooza legacies.
What a great podcast. Episode 2.
Right.
What do you think? Are we done?
Ready for a drink?
All right, we'll make a little mimosa.
Okay.
There's definitely champagne downstairs.
Okay. I'm gonna start now. I'm actually not drinking.
Okay. All right, episode 2. That's a wrap. Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, Austin.
It's been a pleasure.
Always.
Adios.